What is going on, everybody? Top 10 Pokemon back, and today we will be doing another rendition of our top Pokemon card auctions of the week. I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. Before we get started, please, as always, like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Greatly appreciate it. 'Tis the season for a market decline. It's just the way it is. Usually around Christmas, people are buying less Pokemon cards and more of other things, so we've seen quite a dip in a lot of graded cards we're going to go over here. So we're going to go over some modern, some vintage cards that did hold their value, and then some vintage cards that have not held their value whatsoever. So without further ado, let's get into it with our first auction. Let's start off with some modern Vivid Voltage. We got a lot of Pack Fresh Amazing Rare cards, all 6 cards, Pack Fresh, that went for $91 plus $4.20 shipping. So that's not too bad. Considering when you grade these cards, a lot of them in PSA 10 are still going for a couple $100s. So whoever got this, if you get them graded, hopefully they come back sooner than later from PSA, then you might have made yourself a nice little profit there. Speaking of Vivid Voltage and the Amazing Rare, we have a PSA 10 Amazing Rare Rayquaza that went for $260. So right there, if you grade one Rayquaza from that set previous that we were talking about, you just made your money back and more. But then again, it depends how you submit these cards to PSA, because it's been like 6+ months if you want to do a value TCG submission. At least it has been for me. I've submitted quite a few. I've had quite a few submissions over the past 6 months. I've got 0 submissions back. So yeah, I guess it's all a matter of what level of service you're submitting these cards as. But yeah, PSA 10 Rayquaza Amazing Rare, $260. Alright, we have some EX Flashfire here, and the card Mega Charizard EX. This is not the secret rare version. There's a secret rare version of this card, which is pretty much the same friggin' card with a different number on it, but this one went for $625 as a PSA 10. I love this artwork. I love the blue flames coming out of Charizard. It really is a nice touch to the set. So yeah, I thought I'd touch on that. Up next, we have the Shiny Star V Charizard from the newest Japanese set. And PSA 10 that went for $1,525. Like I said last week, I'm very excited for this card to come to the English side. See what that card gets as a PSA 10 or a Black Label BGS 10. It'll be interesting to see that. Alright, up next we have some Burning Shadows here in the Charizard GX. PSA 10 Secret Rare that went for $2,850. So this card is still very, very valuable. I think there's close to 1,000 PSA 10 copies of this, but still is not stopping it from fetching that nice little price. Alright, so Kadabra. As you all know, maybe a little over a month ago, it was announced that Kadabra is coming back as an artwork, so we've been keeping an eye on the prices for the PSA 10 graded cards. Last week we covered the Dark Kadabra from Team Rocket set. This week, Legendary Collection Kadabra, non-holo, come through, and it was $107.50 for a PSA 10. So this is obviously the non-reverse holo one. All the reverse holo cards in this set are probably going to be more than the non-holo ones. But in contrast, this week it was $107. But before it was announced that Kadabra was coming back in, I think maybe late September, this exact same card went for $26. So we've seen almost quadruple, actually it was just about quadruple the price now for this card since the announcement that this card is going to be printed, or Kadabra is going to be printed again on Pokemon cards. Now we're going to get into some vintage cards that seem to have held their value. We have a first edition Jungle Flareon Holo that went for $1,400 as a PSA 10. Very nice. We have an Umbreon. This is a holographic from Neo Discovery Unlimited that went for $1,600. And this, in my opinion, is the best card in the set, period. Yeah, I know that there's Espeon, which is a wonderful card, and you got the PSA 10 Yanma, which is super hard to grade, but if I had to take my pick, I would want a PSA 10 Umbreon all day. Beautiful artwork. We had a Zapdos Holo, first edition from Fossil set that went for $1,250. And then we had a Light Arcanine, first edition PSA 10 from Neo Destiny that went for a whopping $3,400. These cards have seemed to have held their value in this season. So now let's get to the ugly business of the stock decline in Pokemon. let's start off with a couple of the worst offenders here. As you know, a couple months ago, the PSA 10 First Edition Jungle Pikachu and Eevee cards were really soaring high, you know, like $700 to $1,000. It was insane. Let's see where they are now. With the Pikachu here, PSA 10 that went for $345, so still not too bad. I think the Pikachu's done much better than the Eevee. Let me show you. The PSA 10 First Edition Eevee went for $180. Oh my gosh. What a decrease from, like I said, this card was like almost $1,000. Maybe it did hit $1,000 at one point. Now down to $180. Brutal. Brutal, brutal. Up next, we had a Moltres First Edition Holo from Fossil Set that went for $520. That seemed very, very low to me. So whoever got this card got it for a steal, because that's Moltres is one of my favorite cards of all time, or my favorite Pokemon of all time. And we just saw the Zapdos go for over $1,000. Moltres, PSA 10 First Edition, $520. Jeez. Alright, Dark Charizard First Edition from Team Rocket Holo. This card is struggling to stay over $5,000. This week it's still over $5,000 at $5,100. This card has been ranging between $5,000 and $6,000 since the fall. At this rate, we might see it go below $5,000 in the next week or so. Who knows? We'll keep an eye on it. Up next, we have a little bit more modern. We have a BGS 10 Pristine Charizard V from Champion's Path that went for $770. Now, I wanted to bring this card up because the following card here is the Black Label BGS 10, the exact same card that went for $4,250. Now, if you recall, a couple weeks ago, this exact same card in the Black Label BGS 10 was over $6,000. So we saw quite a dip in this here Black Label Charizard V. Thought I'd run that by you. Up next with the First Edition Blaine's Charizard Holo from Gym Challenge. This card, during the fall, it was maintaining its 5-figure range. It was selling for about $10,000-ish. This week down to $7,322. So I wonder if this is going to take the same path as the Dark Charizard First Edition from Team Rocket. We'll keep an eye on this card as well. Alright, last two auctions. We have the Blastoise, the Unlimited Blastoise Holo from base set. PSA 10 that is now $2,550. And back in the hype of base set, this was a $6,000+ card. So we've seen this card be cut in half as far as its value. Sad to see these base set starters suffer so much, but hold on a minute. Let's take a look at our number one auction of the week, and that was the base set Unlimited PSA 10 Charizard Holo that went this week for $10,000. So it dipped down. It was over $20,000 a couple months ago. It dipped down. It come back up a little bit. It was around $16,000 last week. This week, $10,000. So that's quite a fluctuation there in this card. And if you look at it, it looks great. It is a very strong 10, very well centered. The back is very, very clean looking. So yeah, this is a very strong looking 10 to me. $10,000. I was tempted to pick it up myself because I haven't seen a PSA 10 base set Charizard go for this low in quite a while. I'm sure it'll pick up some steam here after the New Year's, but for right now, $10,000 was the newest price for this card. Thank you everybody for watching. What do y'all think of these auctions? I think this decline or this decrease in the prices we've been seeing for some of these cards is going to be temporary. It's probably going to pick up steam, you know, come income tax season. Maybe if you get those stimulus checks, who knows? It'll probably pick up the pace here after all that. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching me. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.